Good morning, kids! Are you ready to discover new things today? Oh, great! So now, let's start! Let's take a closer look at these two pictures posted on the board. The one on the right and the one on the left. Can you name the things that you see in the picture posted on the left side of the board? Well, on this picture on the left side of the board, we can see sun, trees, house, flowers, mountain. Oh, you're amazing, kids! Do you know that everything that we see around us was created by God for us, including our five senses, which help us perceive the beauty of all these things? That's why we must take care of ourselves and our environment. How about the picture on the right? Can you tell me the things you see? Do you see anything? Oh, we have no objects to see because the picture is so dark. Try to figure out this, kids. Why we can easily figure out all those things that is on the picture at the left side of the board. We see everything in the picture on the left side because it is bright. Look at the sky. During the day, we can see the sun and how it shines so bright, and it allows us to see things clearly, right? At night, we can see the stars and the moon. But wait, do you think we can still see everything around us even it's dark? Like the picture that is posted on the right side of the board? You've got it, kids! We can see anything in the dark. We can see everything in our environment only when we switch on the light. Light is important because it allows us to see things clearly. But think about this. How does light travels? We will find out as we move further to our activity. Yesterday, I have reminded you about the things you will use in this activity, and these are the following. Flashlight loaded with battery, 3 pieces of illustration boards with 1/8 size, and with 2 inches diameter in the middle, 1 piece of thick cardboard, observation sheet. And now, let's read and understand the direction to be followed to this activity. And here it goes. Number 1, get a flashlight and aim it at a distant wall or at the ceiling and then observe the path of light. Number 2, ask someone to block the path coming from the flashlight with a thick cardboard. Number 3, get the 3 illustration boards, make at least 2 inches diameter hole each on the middle of the cardboards. Number 4, ask 3 of your family members to hold each of the cardboards with hole, and then ask them to stand at least 1 feet away from each other, but the holes in the cardboard should be aligned in such a way that the wall could be seen through the holes. And then number 5, aim the flashlight through the first hole and then observe what happens. And then number 6, ask someone who is in the middle to misalign the cardboard he or she is holding, and then keep the light aimed at the cardboards and then observe what happens. Then be ready for your answer and your output, kids. Share your answers and explanation for the following questions with the class after your activity. And here are the guide questions. Did the light form a straight line when you aimed it on the wall or ceiling without blockage? When you blocked the light with a thick cardboard, was it able to pass through it? When you aligned the cardboard with holes, was the light able to pass through it? When one of the cardboard was not aligned with the other cardboards, was the light able to pass through it? Now, what can you say about the way light travels? Okay, I'm proud of the way you worked today, kids. Congratulations for the job well done. Let's now go over to the activity you just have done. Did the light form a straight line when you aimed it on the wall or ceiling without blockage? Your answer is correct. Yes, the light forms a straight line when you aim the flashlight on the wall or ceiling without blockage in its path. When you aligned the cardboards with holes, was the light able to pass through it? Again, you've got it right. Yes, the light will be able to pass through because there is enough space for it to travel, and as the hole are the alignment, light can travel freely in a straight line. When you blocked the light with a thick cardboard, was it able to pass through it? No, the light will not pass through it because the cardboard is so thick and it cannot penetrate the light. Now, how does the light travel? Light can travel in the form of waves and particles. It acts depending on the types of matter that comes into contact with. It travels in a vacuum at a speed of approximately 299,792,458 meters per second. Light travels in the space of all possible directions called rays of light. A ray of light is a straight pathway in which light travels. Let's look closely here. Some objects cannot generate their own light, like the sun, fluorescent light, flashlight, and burning candles. These are called the luminous objects. Most of the things around us cannot generate their own light. Our shoes, bags, pencils, clothes, walls, stairs, even ourselves, as well as the moon, are just few among those examples. Such objects that cannot generate their own light are called non-luminous objects. Think about this. If non-luminous objects cannot generate their own light, how come we can still able to see them? How come we can still see the light of the moon at night if it cannot generate its own light? We can still able to see all the luminous objects through reflection. Lights coming from the luminous objects reflected to non-luminous objects, and it reaches our eyes. We can see the light of the moon at night because the sun's light is reflecting into it. Take note of this. Light acts differently depending on the types of matter it comes across with. Let's get into detail about the following: reflection, absorption, and refraction. Reflection is a ray of light, approaches a clear and smooth objects, and it bounces back. Take note of that, kids. Reflection bounces back. As I've said earlier, we can only see the non-luminous objects around us when luminous light reflects on them. Some clear and shiny objects reflect more than the others, like the clear glass, water, aquarium. They are transparent. More light passes through it and it allows us to see things inside of it clearly. A shiny mirror reflects so much light that we can able to see ourselves. Some objects that does not reflect so much light, they are blurry and can just absorb little amount of light to pass through it. These are called the translucent objects. Some are just among of those few examples of translucent materials: wax paper, frosted window, plastic. All objects that does not allow light to pass through it are opaque objects. Most of these objects are very dull, thick, and some examples of opaque objects are wooden chair, floor, bed, and even ourselves And most probably, most of the things around us are opaque. They absorb the light. When light hits an opaque object, it creates a shadow behind it, as the light cannot pass through it. Next is the absorption of light. It is a process by which light is absorbed and transformed into energy. A great example of this is the process of photosynthesis in plants. Plants that contain a pigment called chlorophyll, which absorbs the blue and red colors of the spectrum and reflects the green leaves, whereas reflected light refracted into the band of 7 colors of the rainbow, wherein the white light of the sun hits the tiny raindrops after the rain and bends it into different rays and angles and reaches our eyes. When light passes through any liquid, its speed slows down. Reason why when we put a spoon or a straw or anything inside a glass of water, a glass of full water, it would appear like it is bent. That's the result of refraction. Refraction is the bending of light as it travels from one type of materials to another, like from air to water. Do you understand, kids, how light does travel? Is light important to us? Why? Light is of great importance in our daily life. It is widely used around the world, from light lenses on our cameras to capture things and to get beautiful pictures, powerful lasers to cut things and capable of reaching far distances, optic fibers for communications through phone call, text messages, video call, which play a great role in our industry. To see how well you understand our lesson, please get a piece of paper and pencil for your evaluation. Read and understand the direction very carefully before answering. Let's now read it. Write true if the statement is correct, and false if it is not correct. Number 1. Light travels in a straight line when it passes through a single medium. Number 2. The light that strikes a thick cardboard bends and finds another way to pass through it. Number 3. Light rays could not block, and they could pass through all types of materials since they travel on a straight line. Number 4. A laser is a narrow but powerful beam of light capable of traveling far distances on a straight line. Number 5. Optical fibers are used in communication, medicine, and industry. You amaze me for your best performance, kids. Keep it up. What did you learn from our lesson, kids? To remember all this, let's sum it up. Here is the brief summary. Light travels in the space of all direction called rays of light. A ray of light is a straight pathway in which light travels. Luminous objects, they can generate their own light. Non-luminous objects, they cannot generate their own light. Translucent, some object that does not reflect so much light. Transparent, more light passes through it and allows us to see things inside of it clearly. Opaque, all objects that does not allow light to pass through it. Reflection, light bounces off of the things. Absorption of light, it is a process by which light is absorbed and transformed into energy. Refraction is the bending of light as it travels from one type of materials to another, like from air to water. And for your assignment, explain the importance and uses of light in your daily life. And that's all for today, kids. God bless and keep safe, everyone. Bye-bye.